The political revolution really mushrooms in 1774. And the trigger event is the Somerville Powder Alarm, which causes enormous stress. Gage sends out over 200 picked men on a mission to seize the powder at Somerville, which is located near Cambridge, in a powder magazine. They take the powder, and the sheriff there literally hands them the keys to open up the powder magazine. They take the powder, and it's a perfect mission. They seize it, put it in boats, and then they go back to Castle William, which is in Boston Harbor, which is it's a fortress area that many British troops are garrisoned at. And they bring the powder in. What happens, though, is there's a rumor that goes around that there were 5 Americans that were killed during the raid. And this incenses the countryside, which completely erupts and arms himself immediately. And they descend on Boston Common. Many cases, they're armed, or they have their guns nearby. And it's a massive crowd, and they're not having it. And they surround loyal judges' homes. They demand that they resign, which they get, and they accost a number of other people. And then it's during this event that Joseph Warren, who's kind of a shadowy figure up until this point, emerges from the shadows and then addresses this massive crowd and demands that they conduct themselves in a peaceful manner, and that there would not be violence. Prior to that, the houses were surrounded, some windows were broken. I mean, some of these crown officials were accosted, and they demand calm. And they get it. They actually get people to disperse. There's a rain shows up, and there's a massive storm, and people don't want to get wet, and they go home. And for now, things are kind of a little bit settled because the rumor is dispelled. This begins this arms race because they know that Gage, who then tells his superiors, you need to send 20 or 30,000 men to crush this thing. And we need to round up the ringleaders. We need to, and he gets orders to do exactly that. And that's what they start to do. They start to assemble the British army and their allies, the Germans, the Hessians, to crush the rebellion. But that takes time. This is still 1774, and that armada doesn't show up until the summer of 1776.